Talia Carter didn't hesitate as the rain poured down in torrents. Holding her baby tighter against her chest, she slipped into the black Escalade, her heart racing, her coat soaked through. Noah whimpered beneath the folds of her thin hoodie, his forehead burning, his breathing short and raspy. Rain hammered the windows as she sank into the leather seat, the car's warmth a sudden, disorienting relief. The driver, silent, reached over and gently closed the door behind her. "Thank you," Talia whispered, unsure if he heard. "We're headed to Riverside Free Clinic. My son's sick." The car's interior was immaculate, dark leather, polished trim, a faint scent of cedar and cologne. Talia reached for her seatbelt, glancing at the driver. No rideshare cap, no app glowing on the dashboard. His hands, strong and deliberate, gripped the wheel. His profile was sharp under the streetlights, tailored overcoat, a watch worth more than her rent. His eyes met hers in the rearview mirror, unreadable. "Ma'am," his voice was deep, steady. "Who are you, and why are you in my car?" Talia froze. "You're not my Uber?" "No," he said slowly, "I'm not." Her fingers trembled as they reached for the door handle. "I'm so sorry. I thought, same make, model, black SUV, license plate ends in 847. "Mine's 874, he replied. Silence. Noah coughed violently, his small body jerking. Instinct took over. Talia rubbed his back, rocking gently, her embarrassment fading behind her son's urgent need. "I'll get out," she said quickly. Complete mistake. But the man turned, his gaze softening at Noah, pale and sweaty, barely holding his pacifier. "He doesn't look good." "He has a fever," she admitted. "Breathing's been bad since last night. We have an appointment at the free clinic in 20 minutes. If we miss it," her voice cracked, "we wait 2 weeks." He checked his watch. "Riverside, right?" She nodded, surprised. "I'm passing that way," he said. "No way you're dragging a sick baby back into this storm. Stay buckled." Talia hesitated. "Sir, you don't have to." "I know," he cut in gently. "I want to." The Escalade glided into traffic, wipers battling the storm. Talia held Noah close, her heart pounding, not from fear, but from the strangeness of it all. She hadn't planned this, hadn't expected any of it. What a profound act of kindness. If you were in his shoes, wouldn't you do the same? Hit like or drop a 9 in the comments to honor this beautiful gesture. The silence in the car was calm, almost protective. After a few minutes, he asked, "How old is he?" 10 months, Talia answered. "Normally, he's all over, but it's knocked him out." He nodded, eyes on the road. "My nephew had RSV at that age. Hospitalized twice. Tough year for my sister." His vulnerability startled her. CEOs weren't supposed to sound so human, not that she knew many. "I'm Talia," she offered softly. "And this is Noah." "Jasper," he replied. "Jasper Hayes." Her heart skipped. The name was familiar. Jasper Hayes, founder of Hayes Financial, a self-made black man who rose to Forbes without scandal or spotlight. Why had he stopped for her? As if sensing her thoughts, he said, "You look desperate." "I know that look." His tone wasn't pitying, just honest, raw. The rain softened as the clinic's faded sign came into view. Jasper pulled into the cracked lot, cutting the engine. "Thank you," Talia said, meaning every word. He reached into his coat, handing her a business card. "Need a ride back? Call this number." She glanced at it, confused. "It's not my company's," he clarified. "That's direct to me. Just in case." Talia stepped into the mist. Noah curled against her like a tired kitten. She turned to thank him again, but his eyes were distant, watching them as if seeing more than a stranger and her child. "Good luck," he said softly. "Take care of your boy." He drove off, tires splashing gently. She didn't know he'd parked nearby 10 minutes later, or that he'd slipped into the clinic, hands in pockets, to pay for a nebulizer she couldn't afford. Not yet. This wasn't the end, it was just the beginning. The clinic's antiseptic smell stung Talia's nose as she sat in the cramped waiting room, Noah restless on her chest. The place was chaotic, toddlers crying, elderly patients coughing behind masks, nurses rushing with overflowing clipboards. Talia was too tired to fidget, too numb to worry. When her name was called, Dr. Lena Harper, a middle-aged black woman with wise eyes and a firm voice, examined Noah thoroughly. "Respiratory infection," she said, tapping her pen on the chart. "We need a nebulizer treatment today and antibiotics. It's manageable, but we can't wait." Relief washed through Talia. "So he'll be okay?" "With treatment, yes," Dr. Harper said, then paused. "The medication's covered by your assistance program, but the nebulizer rental requires a $65 copay." Talia's breath hitched. Her account had $28.61. "Can we delay payment?" she asked, voice small. Dr. Harper gave a familiar look, empathy bound by policy. "I'm sorry," she said. "Payments required up front." Talia nodded, gathering Noah and stepping into the hallway. Her fingers shook as she scrolled her phone, calculating. A neighbor might lend 20, an old co-worker another 20. Still short. The emergency credit card she'd sworn off loomed. Then she saw him, Jasper Hayes, unmistakable in his overcoat, at the reception desk, speaking softly to the nurse. He didn't belong in a place with peeling paint and creaky chairs. Yet there he was, tall and steady. Talia froze, her heart thumping against Noah's back. Why was he here? "Ms. Carter," the receptionist called. "Can you come here?" Jasper turned, his face calm, unreadable. "The nebulizer and medication are covered." He paid for 3 months of rental and added a $100 credit to your account. Talia's knees nearly buckled. She walked outside, gripping the nebulizer bag like a lifeline. Jasper stood by a coffee cart, on his phone. He waved her over. Noah stirred, whimpering. "You didn't have to do that," she said. "I know," he replied. "Coffee." She shook her head. "Jasper," he corrected gently when she called him Mr. Hayes. "You've done more than anyone would. I can't let you pay for my son's treatment. We're strangers." "We're not," he said, watching Noah with a softness that ached in her chest. "You said his father left, that you've managed alone. I respect that." Her eyes dropped. "My sister was a single mom," he continued. "Her son had chronic bronchitis. A nebulizer helped, but she struggled without support. I watched her carry it alone until it broke her." His voice thickened. "I don't want history to repeat. It's not charity. You can help me, too." Talia blinked. "Help you? My foundation's building healthcare programs for single-parent households. I need real voices, people who've lived it. Focus group next Tuesday, 2 hours, childcare provided. $250 stipend." She stared. "For talking. For sharing experience worth more than you know." Noah coughed, and Jasper's eyes flicked with concern. "Got a ride home?" "I'll call one," she said. He checked his watch. "My next meeting's canceled. I'll drive you." She hesitated. "It's not charity," he added softly. "It's compassion." She nodded. The drive was quiet, Noah dozing, exhausted. As they neared Talia's neighborhood, cracked sidewalks, tired buildings, her voice shrank. "That's us, brick building on the left." Jasper slowed, not unlocking the doors immediately. "This area looks familiar," he murmured, eyeing a boarded-up lot across the street. "That was meant to be family housing," she said. But the developer vanished. "What company?" he asked. "Vanguard Development. Guy named Malik Reed." Jasper's body stiffened. "What did you say?" "Malik Reed," she repeated, realization dawning. "Your CFO. You know him?" Jasper's face darkened. "That was my project. It wasn't supposed to be abandoned. Talia's mind reeled, her grip on Noah tightening. He's Noah's father. Jasper's eyes narrowed. Would you tell me more about him? About what happened? She nodded slowly. I can do that. But she didn't yet know Jasper had only glimpsed part of the truth. The most explosive piece was still buried in her past, ready to upend their lives. Talia didn't sleep that night. Noah stirred in his crib, the nebulizers hummed steady in their small apartment. Outside, streetlights flickered over West Hollow Street's cracked sidewalks, casting shadows. Inside, her thoughts raced, gaining traction after years stuck in mud. Jasper Hayes had recognized Malik Reed's name, Noah's father, who vanished when she told him she was pregnant, blocked her number, denied everything, and sent a lawyer to threaten defamation if she spoke out. Now, he was the CFO of a major financial firm. Her hands trembled as she pulled a plastic storage box from under her bed. Inside, a worn folder labeled Noah Legal held texts, emails, ultrasound images, and bank transfer screenshots from when Malik pretended to care. The next morning, her phone buzzed, a message from Jasper. Meeting about Malik. 2 p.m. car picks you up at 1:30. Bring documentation. Talia stared, chest tight. Her day off was for laundry, maybe a walk with Noah. Instead, she dusted off her slacks and tucked the folder into her tote. The car wasn't Jasper's Escalade, but a sleek town car with tinted windows and a quiet driver. It felt like another world. At Hayes Financial's glass headquarters, a receptionist greeted her by name, directing her to a private elevator. The ride up was surreal, silent. Jasper waited, in a sharp gray suit, expression warm. "Thank you for coming," he said, leading her to a side office. A woman in a navy pantsuit looked up from a file. "This is Nora Blake, our legal counsel. She'll take notes. Everything you say is confidential," Nora assured, "unless you choose otherwise." Talia sat, the folder heavy in her lap. For an hour, she recounted everything. Late-night texts, whispered promises, Malik's silence when she revealed her pregnancy, the legal threats, the voicemail saying, "Not my problem." Nora's pen moved swiftly. Jasper sat stone-faced, a muscle twitching in his jaw. "So," Nora said, "you have evidence of Mr. Reed's knowledge of the pregnancy, his refusal to acknowledge the child, and legal intimidation." Talia nodded. Jasper slid a folder across. "It matches what we've uncovered. Malik's been siphoning funds from community initiatives, including the Riverside Housing Project. I suspected irregularities, but this is deeper." Nora leaned forward. "With your permission, Ms. Carter, we'd include your statement in our investigation to expose a pattern of misconduct." Talia hesitated. "Will it affect Noah?" "No," Jasper said firmly. "Any paternity claim is separate, and we'll support you if you pursue it." A knock interrupted. Jasper's assistant entered, face tense. "Mr. Hayes, Mr. Reed's here for the board meeting. Security's holding him. He's demanding to speak with you." Jasper stood. "Perfect." He turned to Talia. "I want you to watch. Conference room with one-way glass. You won't be seen, but you deserve to see the truth hit him." Talia's body tensed, her mind reeling. She hadn't faced Malik in nearly a year. Even behind glass, the thought sent a pang through her chest. But she thought of Noah, of sleepless nights with a fevered baby, of bills, absence, shame. She nodded. The adjoining room was stark, chrome and glass. Through the one-way pane, she saw Jasper enter a conference room. Malik Reed followed, taller than she remembered, in an Armani suit. He moved with confidence until he realized it was just him and Jasper. "What's going on?" Malik asked, dropping his phone on the table. Jasper didn't sit. "You're being removed, Malik. Effective immediately." "What?" "What?" Jasper laid out files, spreadsheets, transfers, memos. Community funds, housing projects, scholarships. You've funneled money into shell accounts for months. Malik scoffed. That's a stretch. No proof. Jasper turned the laptop toward him. I have bank records. And testimonies. One you might know, Talia Carter. Malik paled. Whatever she told you, Jasper cut him off. We confirmed paternity. Talia gasped behind the glass. No test existed. Jasper was bluffing, striking precisely. Malik's face cracked. She's lying. That baby's not mine. DNA doesn't lie, Jasper said coldly. And neither do I. IRS audits. You're done. Security entered. Malik surged up. You're making a mistake. I won't go quietly. Jasper stared him down. You won't get the chance once indictments hit. As guards escorted Malik out, he shouted, You'll regret protecting that liar. Jasper watched until the door closed, then nodded once toward the glass. Talia sat frozen, hands clenched around her folder, now small compared to what had unfolded. She'd watched a titan fall without a word, yet it felt like her loudest moment. In Jasper's office, still numb, Talia faced him. The sleek walls made her feel like a ghost from another world, a mother from a rundown apartment who'd seen a corporate giant topple. Jasper entered, tie loosened, calm but purposeful. You lied, she said quietly. He raised an eyebrow. No DNA test. A strategic bluff, he admitted. But you saw his reaction. He didn't really deny it. She crossed her arms. You're playing a dangerous game, Mr. Hayes. I'm playing to win, Miss Carter, he said, softening. For you, Noah, and the family's promised homes, but left with a weed-choked lot. Talia sank into a chair, exhausted. Why are you doing this? Jasper sat across her. I told you about my nephew. He died at 4. His father left when medical bills piled up. My sister raised him alone, 2 jobs. I was building this company, helped when I could, but by the time I had real money, it was too late. He paused, glancing at a framed photo of a boy with a bright, tired smile. She never forgave herself, but it was his fault. Jasper, Talia whispered, struck by his pain. When I saw you and Noah in my car, he said, something clicked. I thought it was decency, but when Malik's name came up, it got personal. Talia watched him, then pulled out her folder. If I pursue child support and paternity, what's next? Jasper pressed a desk phone button. Nora entered with documents. These initiate a paternity and support case, she said. Given Malik's misconduct and termination, the court will likely expedite. Talia took the folder, fingers brushing its surface. Dragging Noah's father to court twisted her stomach, but Noah deserved truth, not silence. There's more, Jasper said, pulling out architectural plans, colorful renderings of the Riverside housing project. I've recommitted the funds. The site across your street restarts next month. Talia's eyes widened. You're rebuilding? With updated designs, childcare, health access, gardens, he said. I want you to have one of the first family units, subsidized rate. She blinked. What? And, he continued, I'd like you to manage the childcare center. She stared. Jasper, I don't have credentials. You do, he said firmly. Nora checked. 3 years at Bright Horizons Daycare, early childhood education, before Noah. You left because you had no help. You're qualified, and you know this community's needs. Talia turned to the blueprints, throat tight. She'd survived in silence so long. This felt like being heard. You're serious? He smiled, not a CEO's polish but real. Very. A knock came. The assistant entered. Childcare confirmed for the focus group next Tuesday. Talia looked at the folder, the plans, the man who'd upended her world, or said it right. I'll be there, she nodded. As she left, Noah in her arms, she stepped into sunlight, feeling hope she'd thought lost. 3 weeks later, Talia moved into Riverside Residences. From her second-floor balcony, Noah in her arms, she took in the view. The building smelled of fresh paint, a new beginning. The apartment, 2 bedrooms, bright windows, modern appliances, felt palatial after roaches and thin walls. Jasper had handled everything. Move-in help, childcare, a grocery stipend until her childcare center job began. It wasn't just a home, it was dignity. That afternoon, Jasper knocked, holding a gift bag and envelope. "You're early," she said, surprised. He grinned. Couldn't resist seeing it finished. Inside, sunlight spilled across hardwood. Noah's toys scattered, her parents' photos on a shelf. "It's perfect," he said quietly. "You helped make it so." He handed her the envelope. Court decision came this morning. Talia's heart stopped. She opened it. Paternity confirmed, child support awarded, retroactive, trust fund established. "He didn't contest it," Jasper said. "Didn't show up." She stared at the papers, not just legal but emotional validation. "He signed under pressure," Jasper added. "His attorney said he didn't want a public fight." Talia exhaled shakily. Of course he didn't. She set the papers down and opened the gift bag. A black frame with a photo of Noah at a community picnic. Eyes squinted in joy. "Turn it over," Jasper said. The back read, "To new beginnings and second chances." Her eyes stung. "You keep showing up," she said softly. "Why?" He leaned against the counter. "Every time I walk away, I look back. I've learned that means something. Maybe not just helping, but staying." Her heart thudded in quiet recognition. "You've done enough," she whispered. He stepped closer. "I haven't done half of what I want to." A pause. Noah giggled. Jasper cleared his throat. "Noah's first birthday's next week, right?" She nodded. "Maybe we plan something special, just us three." He wasn't just talking about cake. He was asking if trust, long locked away, could reopen. Talia didn't answer right away. She looked at Noah, crawling to Jasper, tiny fingers grabbing his. Jasper knelt, balancing Noah between them, one hand in hers, one in his. The silence was safe. "I'd like that," she said. He smiled gently. "Me too." In that moment, no contracts, no grand promises, just a boy and 2 hands holding on. Talia realized some doors don't close forever. They wait for the right knock. Noah's birthday dawned clear, sunlight flooding Talia's kitchen. A vanilla cake, store-bought but frosted with care, sat topped with a firetruck figurine, Noah's obsession. The clock read 10:58 a.m., 1 minute from when Noah was born, changing everything. Jasper arrived on time, in jeans and a navy sweater, carrying a wrapped box. "You said nothing extravagant," Talia teased. He grinned. Light on extravagance, heavy on meaning. Noah clapped from his high chair, thrilled to see Jasper. "Happy birthday, little man," Jasper whispered, letting Noah tug his hoodie cord. Talia lit the candle. "Ready?" she asked. Jasper nodded. She sang softly, voice trembling then steadying. Jasper joined, low and warm, until they finished together. Noah beamed, banging his tray. Talia helped him blow out the candle. No crowd, no fanfare, just them. Perfect. Later, amid wrapping paper, Talia opened Jasper's gift, a hand-bound photo album. The first image was Noah in Jasper's car that rainy day, cheeks red, half asleep, her jacket soaked. "Traffic cam stills near the clinic," Jasper said. "Hope you don't mind." She flipped through, Noah in the hospital, at the picnic, move-in day, her and Jasper laughing outside the daycare. Each a piece of survival turned memory. The final page read, "Sometimes the wrong car takes you where you need to be. You keep giving me things I didn't know I needed," she whispered. He took her hand gently. "I'm not trying to fix you, Talia. You've never been broken. I just want to walk with you, if you'll let me." She nodded, and something shifted, not dramatic, but chosen. Noah stirred. Talia lifted him, kissing his forehead. Jasper stood beside her. The center opens next week, he said. Over 30 kids signed up. She smiled. Director Carter, he teased. How's it feel to be in demand? She laughed. Terrifying. Wonderful. Real. He looked out at the lot. Once mud and broken promises, now alive with murals, gardens, laughter. What you built matters, she said. No, he corrected, meeting her eyes. What we built. The rain hadn't returned, but if it did, Talia was unafraid. She'd weathered worse and now had shelter, literal and not. Noah reached for Jasper, who took his hand, firm and gentle. In that quiet room, a family began, not with vows, but with hands held across pain and healing, over a cake with one candle and a truth. Some lives begin when someone chooses to stay. The community center buzzed at the focus group. Folding chairs lined fresh walls, jazz played softly, and posters advertised prenatal classes, job training, and Talia's Neighbors Helping Neighbors program. The first event since Riverside's reopening, it was intimate, not corporate. Talia, in a slightly crooked program coordinator name tag, refilled sweet tea. These were her people, mothers, a veteran couple, single dads. Noah played in the corner, watched by a caregiver, checking for her before returning to his stacking rings. Jasper entered, nodding to the receptionist, eyes finding Talia. His charcoal blazer and black tee were casual but sharp. She waved. He returned a half smile, a silent, "We've come far." At 6:15, Jasper spoke. Thank you for being here. Riverside isn't just housing. It's community, built on listening. Tonight's about your stories. He nodded to Talia. She stepped forward. I'm Talia Carter, a mother, teacher, and until recently, someone who thought her voice didn't matter. Last year, I lived in a moldy apartment, raising a sick child on 2 jobs that barely covered rent. No help, no time, no hope. The room stilled. Then, in a rainstorm, I got in the wrong car. Soft chuckles. That mistake led me here, to people who listened and acted. That's justice. Not speeches, not handouts, action. That's what this center should be, where your story lands. Applause rose, genuine. Jasper placed a brief, grounding hand on her shoulder. The group unfolded, stories of evictions, bills, dreams, triumphs. A former nurse cried over her lost license. A teen dad vowed to be different. Talia listened like it was sacred, taking notes, asking questions, connecting stories to solutions. Jasper watched, struck by her presence. As people lingered, swapping numbers, asking to volunteer, Jasper and Talia sat in the quiet. You were born for this, he said. She smiled. I fought for it. He nodded, respect in his eyes. Maybe that's why you're perfect. Noah yawned dramatically. Jasper glanced at him. I've been thinking, dangerous, I know. She teased. Go on. The foundation needs a family advocacy director, someone who builds trust, based here. She blinked. A second job? A second platform. She looked at the center, its roots in shared pain and hope. I need time, she said. You'll have it. They stood as lights dimmed, Noah babbling in his stroller. I can't believe it started with the wrong ride, she said. Jasper locked the door. You keep saying wrong. It wasn't. She didn't correct him. Trouble came quietly, via email. Wednesday morning, Talia prepped daycare lesson plans. Noah napping, her coffee lukewarm. The subject, urgent audit notice, Riverside Development Funds. A state investigator was reviewing Hayes Foundation's city grants. Her fingers froze. She called Jasper's office. His assistant's voice was tight. He's in meetings all morning about the audit. Talia's stomach dropped. By noon, news outlets buzzed. Hayes Foundation under review. Allegations of mishandled funds. Clickbait. Not proof, but public opinion didn't care. At the foundation office, security was tight, reporters outside. Talia slipped in through a side entrance, heart racing. Jasper was in the boardroom with attorneys and a weary financial officer, sleeves rolled up, alert. He saw her and stepped out. "What's happening?" she asked. "They're targeting us," he said, voice low. When something good happens in a poor neighborhood, someone tries to discredit it. "Malik." He nodded. "Likely. He's angry, humiliated, with city contacts." "But the project's clean," she said. "Audits aren't about truth," he replied. "They shake the tree to see what falls. Funding pauses, people lose faith." She finished, "They're coming for me." He looked at her, not with panic but resolve. "You built something real. That's why it's a threat." That evening, on her porch steps, Noah fussy in her lap, Talia stared at the flickering street lamp. Jasper sat beside her, shoulders close. "They want us to panic," he said. "We won't," she replied. A car slowed. A man in a dark coat stared, then sped off. Talia tensed. "I saw him," Jasper murmured. "He won't get close." But his voice wavered, just for a second. 2 days later, a subpoena arrived, demanding Talia testify about Riverside and her past with Malik. At her kitchen table, Noah playing with blocks, she reread the line. "Required to appear before the Civic Grant Oversight Committee." Jasper stood in the doorway. "I'm not letting you do this alone." She looked up. "You knew?" "I knew it was coming." He placed a hand beside hers. "They want to fight? We give them one, on our terms." Her gaze hardened. "Let's make sure they know who they're trying to silence." The hearing room was plain, fluorescent lights, tired chairs, a long table. It smelled of old carpet and burnt coffee, but it was the most significant room Talia had entered. Noah was in childcare, arranged by Jasper. He sat behind her, his presence anchoring. The committee chair, a stern woman with graying hair, spoke. "Ms. Carter, state your name and affiliation." "Talia Carter, Program Coordinator at Riverside Family Development Center, and a mother. We're here to investigate potential misappropriation of funds by the Hayes Foundation." "Do you have knowledge of financial misconduct?" "No," Talia said clearly. "But I know what it looks like when money does what it's supposed to. I lived in a moldy apartment, raising a sick child alone. The clinic I used often lacked medication. No one asked what I needed. Then a man gave me a ride and didn't turn away when he learned I wasn't his passenger." He listened. Jasper sat still, jaw tight. "Riverside didn't give me charity. It gave me a home, a job, a safe place for my son, and the same for my neighbors. The only fraud I've seen came from Malik Reed, Noah's father, who abandoned us and stole from this city while pretending to build it." The room stirred. "Everything's documented. Emails, messages, legal threats. I've submitted them." Silence. The chair asked, "Why testify now?" "Because silence costs too much. It cost my dignity, nearly my son's health. I speak today not to tear someone down, but to lift something up." Outside, news vans waited. Talia slipped into the alley, adrenaline pumping. Jasper leaned against the car. "You shook the room. I reminded it we exist." They drove in silence, the city skyline passing. The radio recapped her testimony, dignified, measured, devastating. Jasper's phone buzzed. "City Council suspended the audit," he said. "Malik's investigation is independent. The foundation's cleared." Talia exhaled, almost laughing. "It's over." "No," he said, "it's just beginning." 2 weeks later, the Riverside Center opened fully. Talia, in a navy dress with a Director of Family Advocacy nameplate, stood at the door. Her voice was her compass now. Noah ran to her, giggling, wearing a big boy helper badge. Jasper watched, pride in his face. "I have something for you," he said, handing her a velvet box. She froze. "Jasper." He opened it, a key. "Top floor family unit, sunrise view." She laughed, free. "You scared me." "One step at a time," he said. She closed the box, looked at him. "Let's keep walking together." And they did, through a door she'd once feared, toward a life she no longer fought alone, where her silence became a voice, a family, a future.